Now again I am going to explain the lesson that vectors. Now I have already taught you how do we simplify the vectors. Now if I give a small reminder, now this is the vector AB. Now we can change the direction of arrow mark by changing sign in front of the vector. Now this is the first theorem. Now second theorem is we can keep that arrow mark without changing, and we can interchange these two characters by changing sign in front of the vector. I mean, always we can change the sign in front of the vector by changing the direction of arrow mark or interchange the characters. By using these two methods, we can change sign in front of the vector. Now again, the next theorem is, we have done this one. This is the vector triangular law. Now you assume this is vector AB and this is vector BC. Now we can write vector AB plus vector BC equals vector AC. Now this is called vector triangular law. Now this is the resultant vector, or this is the sum of these two vectors, vector AC. But anyway, when you use this vector triangular law, they should have same coefficients. Now you can see the coefficient of vector AB is 1, BC also 1, finally AC also 1. So when you use this vector triangular law, they should have same coefficient. Otherwise you can't simplify this one. Otherwise you can't use this theorem to simplify the vectors. Now next one is, when you simplify the vectors, you have to arrange them in one direction and with the same characters. For an example, vector AB plus vector BA. Now if you want to take sum of these two vectors, first of all you have to arrange them in with same characters. Now direction is okay, AB, this rightwards, and you can change this sign by changing these two characters like AB. Now final answer is 0. Everyone knows AB minus AB equals 0. Now this is the method to simplify the vectors. Now when you have same coefficient, I change that coefficient of vector AB as 2. Now again you can use this vector triangular law, because again they have same coefficient. At that time also you can use that vector triangular law. I told you to make that same coefficient when you simplify the vectors and when you use that vector triangular law. Right. Next one. Now again we are moving to some examples in vectors. Now when you ready your note, definitely I have tried all these examples in your note. Right. Next example. Right. Now assume this is A, B, C, D, E, F. And this is vector AC. And this is vector AD. And this is vector AE. And this is vector 2CD, and this is vector 3DE. Now this is AB, this is BC, and this is EF, finally this is FA. Now everybody, when you prepare your note, everybody write all these examples in your note. I told you to prepare your note properly, right? Now, right, now first of all you have to draw this one. Find the resultant vector of the given diagram. Now write the question. Find the resultant vector of given diagram. Find the resultant of given diagram. Right. Now first of all you have to think at what point you have to start here, because when you use that vector triangular law, if you meet that opposite direction arrow mark, at that time you can't simplify it. So always you have to select the path without meet that opposite direction arrow marks. For example, you can use this path A to B, B to C. Oh, that is okay. Vector AB plus vector BC means vector AC. That sum of AB and BC gives AC. Another AC is already there. So, sum of AB and BC gives AC. Another AC remains here. So, sum of AC plus AC means 2AC. Now, you can write AB plus BC equals AC. Then AC adding with this another AC, remaining AC. So it gives 2AC here. Now this is okay, this one is okay. We have already taken these two vectors. Right. Now again you can write 2AC and 2CD. Now you assume a man travels from A to C, then C to D. The total displacement is A to D. You assume man travels from A to C, then C to D. The total displacement is A to D. Likewise, man travels 2 times from A to C and C to D. It gives 2AD. Now you can write 2AC plus 2CD equals 2AD. Now, again, I will simplify it at the beginning. AB plus BC equals AC. That AC add with this first one, so it gives 2AC. Now no need to write these two vectors again because we have already taken that one. Next one, 2AC plus 2CD, it gives 2AD. That 2AD add with this remaining one, previous one, so it gives 3AD. Now again no need to consider about these 4 vectors. These 4 vectors, because we have already taken these 4 vectors. Now next one. Finally you can simplify that 3AD and 3DE. Now you can see they have same coefficients. So 3AD plus 3DE means 3AE. That 3AE should be added with this AE. So it gives 4AE. Now finally you can write 4AE. Now you can neglect all these 6 vectors. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Now you can remove all these 6 vectors because now you have simplified it. Now finally it has 4AE and again EF and FA. Now you can't simplify 4AE and EF because they have different coefficients. So I told you to simplify with the same coefficients. So they have different coefficients. Now you can see 4AE and 1EF. So you can't simplify it. But anyway you can simplify EF plus FA because they have same coefficients. EF plus FA means EA. Now all these 6 vectors gives 4AE. 4AE, that is occurs. Now again finally it remains EF plus FA. You assume man travels from E to F, then F to A. The total displacement is given by EA. Now you can write 4AE plus EA. Now this is the final simplification. EF plus FA means EA. Now these 6 vectors give 4AE. Now you can't simplify these two vectors because when you simplify this one, first of all you have to arrange them with the same characters. So now you can write 4AE minus, now I told you to change these two characters by changing sign in front of the vector, minus AE. Now you can see they have same direction and these are two same vectors AE, AE. Now you can simplify it. 4AE minus 1AE. You can take AE as the common factor in front of the bracket, then you can write 4 minus 1. 4, when you take the common character here, you can write 4 minus 1. Otherwise, you can simplify it by the memory with your mind. Now it gives 3AE. Now this is the final answer. This is the way to simplify the vectors when you have the number of vectors in the diagram. Now, next one. Now shall we move another one? This is A, B, C, D, E. Right. Now you can see, now write the question, find the resultant vector of the given diagram. Find the resultant vector of the given diagram. Right? Right. Now that is okay. Now I told you to simplify. Now when you have that circular direction connected loop, then the resultant vector becomes 0. Now when you have same cycling direction, for example A, B, C. Now you assume a man travels from A to B, then B to C, finally C to A. Now you can write that the resultant displacement is 0 because he starts his motion from A, then finally he comes to the A. So resultant displacement is given by 0. So that's why I told you to write that A, B plus B, C plus C, A. Vectors equals 0. Now you can see this is the connected diagram, connected loop in one cycling direction. Now this is anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise side. Now cycling direction is anti-clockwise. Now it is connected loop with the same coefficients. Now you can say this theorem when they have same coefficients only. Now when you have same coefficient with same one cycling direction, and when you have connected loop, you can write that vector equals 0, the resultant equals 0. Now you can see AB, BC, CD, DE, EF. Now they have same coefficients. Now first of all you have to check the coefficients of vectors just before the simplification of vectors. Now they have same coefficients. And again you have to check the direction of arrow marks. Now we take anti-clockwise. So you can see all these vectors are in anti-clockwise and it gives connected loop. Now I told you to simplify the total vectors as 0 when you have one cycling direction with the same coefficients. Now these vectors have same coefficients and they have same one cycling direction. So AB plus BC plus CD plus DE plus EF equals 0. You assume matters from A to B, then B to C, C to D, D to E and E to F. Now you can write AB plus BC plus CD, DE plus EF equals 0. Now no need to take these vectors again, we have simplified it. Finally, it remains AC and CE. Now again you can use that vector triangular law because they have same coefficients, AC plus CE. AC plus C, they have same coefficients. So finally you can write AE. Now this is the answer. AC plus CE plus equals AE. Now that should be the answer. Now again shall we move to another one. Now actually when you watch this video, you better stop the video just before watching that my explanation. Now you pause it and you stop it. Then you do that one. You simplify it with yourself. Then after you better check. Right. Next one. This is A, B, C and D. Now I told you to include all these examples in your note. Will you prefer your note? Right. This is vector A. This is O. This is vector AO. And this is vector OC, and this is vector AB, and this is vector BC. And this is vector 2CD, and this is vector 4AD. Now write the question. Find the resultant vector of the given diagram. Find the resultant vector of the given diagram. Right. දැන් පුතාලා හොඳ දේ තමයි දැන් මේ වීඩියෝ ක්ලිප් එක දිගට බලාගෙන යන්න එපා. මේ වගේ ගානකට පුතාලා වීඩියෝ එක ස්ටොප් කරලා තනියම මේක සිම්ප්ලිෆයි කරන්න. ඒ සිම්ප්ලිෆයි කරලා ඊට පස්සේ චෙක් කරන්න මගේ එක්ස්ප්ලනේෂන් එකත් එක්ක ටැලි වෙනවද කියලා. එහෙමනේ කරන්නේ. දැන් එක දිගට නිකන් වීඩියෝ එක බලාගෙන ගියොත් පුතාලා නිකන් අර මොකක් හරි ඩ්‍රාමා එකක් බලුවා වගේ නේ. එයා පුතාලා මේවා ඉගෙනගෙන ෆැකල්ටි යන්න ඉගෙන ගන්න. ඒ නිසා දැන් මේවා කරලා වෙලා පුතාලා එක්ක මෙඩිකල් ෆැකල්ටි එක්ක ඉන්ජිනියර් ෆැකල්ටි එක්ක සයන්ටිස්ට් කෙනෙක් ඒ වගේ මොනවා හරි හොඳ ෆැකල්ටිස් වලට යන්නේ. ඒක නිසා මේකට ගන්න පුළුවන් මේ chance එක ගන්න පුළුවන් මේවා හරියටම දැනගත්තොත් විතරයි. පුතාලා මෙරිට් එකේ යන්න මේවා කරන්න ඕනේ. පුතාට මම මේ පුරුදු වෙනු ගන්නවා නෙවෙයි. දැන් හැම ගොඩක් ළමයි මෙරිට් වල යනවා එක නගරයකින් නෙවෙයි. දැන් කොළඹ, කළුතර, කෑගල්ල, නුවර, අනුරාධපුරේ, කුරුණෑගල ඔය ඔක්කොම නගර වලින් මගේ මෙරිට් ළමයි යනවා. එතකොට මේ පුරුදු වෙන්න කියන ඒවා නේ. පුතාලා ලොකු දෙයක් ඕනේ නැහැ. ඉස්සල්ලාම දැන් මේ වගේ දේවල් කරනකොට ඔතන ඔය වීඩියෝ එක ස්ටොප් කරලා අපි ක්ලාස් එකේදී ගණන් හදනවා වගේ පුතාලා මෙතනින් පස්සේ තනියම කරන්න මේ. කරලා ඊට පස්සේ බලන්න මගේ වීඩියෝ එකත් එක්ක එක්ස්ප්ලනේෂන් එකත් එක්ක මේක සේම්ද කියලා. එහෙම නැතුව නිකන් අර බලාගෙන ගිහිල්ලා මේ සර් මෙතන සුළු කෙරුවේ මෙහෙමයි මමත් එහෙම සුළු කරනවා කියන අදහසින් සුළු කරන්න එපා. එහෙම වුණොත් තමයි කියනවා. හැමතිස්සෙම මේක තනියම සිම්ප්ලිෆයි කරලා ඔයාට හිර වෙනකොට හරි ඔයාට උත්තරේ ආවට පස්සේ හරි ඊට පස්සේ වීඩියෝ එකේ ඉස්සරහට යන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ හැම එක්සැම්පල් එකක් ඉස්සරහදම වීඩියෝ එක ස්ටොප් කරන්න. හැම එක්සැම්පල් එකක් ඉස්සරහදී වීඩියෝ එක ස්ටොප් කරලා ඉස්සරහට යන්න. Right. Now you can simplify it. Now I told you to check that coefficient of vectors before the simplification. And again you have to check the direction of arrow marks also. Now you can see this is AB and this is BC. Now you can write that AB plus BC equals AC. Actually no need to write this one, but anyway I write it AB plus BC equals AC. Now this is the first one. Now these two vectors are okay. We have already simplified these two vectors. Now again AO is there and OC already is there. Now you can simplify it again because you can see they have same coefficient. Now AO, now again you can simplify AO with OC because OC is already there with the same coefficient. Now you can write AO plus OC. Now you can see at that time you do not treat opposite direction arrow mark when you travel from A to O and O to C. It gives AC. It gives AC. Now you assume man travels from A to O then O to C. The total displacement is given by A to C. Now that also okay. Now you can simplify. Now these two vectors also okay. Now you can write AB plus BC equals AC. Again another AC makes by AO plus OC. Now you have two AC. AB plus BC equals AC and AO plus OC it gives AC again. So now you can write 2AC. Now these four vectors generate 2AC. Finally, now this is 2AC and this is 2CD. Now you can check these two coefficients. The coefficient same 2AC plus 2CD. Now again you can write 2AC plus 2CD. 2AC plus 2CD means 2AD. This is 2AD. Now finally, now this is not a vector. I told you when a vector, if it is a vector, it has two features. Now these two features are, these two properties are, it has magnitude and direction. Now when you check that DO, it has magnitude, but it has no direction. So because we did not mention that arrow mark here, so that is not a vector. Now when the quantity has no magnitude or direction, that is not vector. Now when you check that DO, you can see DO has the magnitude but it has no direction, so DO is not a vector. So no need to take this DO when you do the simplification, right? So finally you can write, now again I write from the beginning, AB plus BC equals AC and AO plus OC also gives that AC. Now you can write AC plus AC gives 2AC. Now again you can simplify that 2AC plus 2CD because they have same coefficients. 2AC plus 2CD gives 2AD. So this is the simplification, 2AD. Finally, now I told you not to take this D off. Finally, you can write 2AD plus 4AD. Again, I will take that 4AD and 2AD. Now, AB plus BC AC, AO plus OC AC. These two values gives 2AC. 2AC plus 2CD, 2AD. Again, finally, you have to simplify 2AD plus 4AD. Now, it gives 2AD plus 4AD. It gives 6AD. Now, this is the final answer. 6AD. Now, that is the method to simplify the vectors. But again, I will tell you, now when you have only line without arrow mark, that is not a vector because it has no direction. So when you do the simplification, no need to consider about this DO like that. That is not a vector. Right. Now that is the theorem. That is the theorem to simplify the vectors by using vector triangular law and by using other simplification methods. Now that is the vector triangular law, application of vector triangular law and simplifications of vectors. Now here we are on to the next part, that is the parallelogram theorem about vectors. Now here, but anyway we write the topic as parallelogram theorem. Parallelogram theorem of vectors. Now write the topic, parallelogram theorem of vectors. Parallelogram theorem of vectors. Now we are going to the parallelogram theorem of vectors. Now you assume two vectors are represented by two adjacent sides of parallelogram. Now here I am going to draw the parallelogram by using dotted line. You assume given two vectors are P and Q. Now again I draw another parallel line to the Q, same vector for the Q with same magnitudes and same direction, and again I draw another identical vector to the P, the same direction and same magnitude. At that time I can complete parallelogram like this. Now this is the parallelogram. Now by the vector parallelogram theorem says, when two vectors, I mean that P and Q, when two vectors are represented by two adjacent sides of the parallelogram, then the resultant in magnitude and direction is given by the magnitude of diagonal and the direction of the diagonal. Now again, if I repeat it, when two vectors are represented by two adjacent sides of the parallelogram, then the resultant of two vectors is given by the diagonal of the parallelogram in the magnitude and direction. Now that is the parallelogram theorem. දැන් පුතාලා මම මේ කරන්න යන එක මම කියන නිසා අනිවාර්යයෙන් මේ ප්‍රූව් කරන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා මේ parallelogram theorem එකයි parallelogram එකේ ප්‍රූෆ්මන්ට් එක දැන් මම කරනවා අඩුම ගානේ දෙපාර. පුතාලා මේක බලන දවසේ දැන් අද බලන්නේ කවදද ඒ බලන දවසේ බලලා ඉවර වෙලා දෙපාරක් මේක ප්‍රූව් කරන්න. ඊළඟට සුමානයක් විතර ගිහිල්ලා සුමානයක් ගියාමදී සුමානයක් විතර ගිහිල්ලා ආයෙ මේක ප්‍රූව් කරන්න එකපාර. ඊට පස්සේ මාසයක් විතර ගිහිල්ලා තව එකපාරක් ප්‍රූව් කරන්න. ඊට පස්සේ ඕගොල්ලෝ ෆැකල්ටි ගිහිල්ලා එළියට ආවත් මේක ඕගොල්ලෝ ප්‍රූව් කරනවා. මේ ප්‍රූෆ්මන්ට් එක හරි අවශ්‍යයි. මොකද ස්ට්‍රක්චර්ඩ් පේපර් එකේ තමයි මේකේ මේ ප්‍රූෆ්මන්ට් එක අහන්නේ. ඒතකොට දැන් මේක ස්ට්‍රක්චර්ඩ් පේපර් එකේ આવොත් මේ ප්‍රූෆ්මන්ට් අහන්න පුළුවන්. ඒතකොට මේ ප්‍රූෆ්මන්ට් එක ඒ වෙලාවෙදී අපිට හදලා කරන්න බෑ. ඒක නිසා දැනගන්න. මේක නිසා මම කියන නිසා දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ මේ ප්‍රූෆ්මන්ට් එක මේක බලන්නේ කවදාද? ඒ බලන දවසේ අඩුම ගානේ ප්‍රූෆ්මන්ට් එක දෙපාරක් කරන්න. කොච්චර දක්ෂ වුණත් දෙපාරක් කරන්න. එක දෙවෙනි පාරත් හරියට ක්ලික් වුනේ නැත්නම් තුන්වෙනි පාර කරන්න. තුන් පාරක් නම් හොඳටම ඇති. හැබැයි අඩු ගානේ තුන පාරක්වත් මේක කරන්න. කරලා සුමානකට පස්සේ ආයෙ කරලා ආයෙ මාසික විතර පස්සේ කරන්න. පුතාලා ඒ ලෙවල් එක්සෑම් එකේ ආවත් ආයෙ කවදාවත් පැරලලෝග්‍රෑම් එකේ ප්‍රූෆ්මන්ට් එක දාලා කරනවා. ඒ වගේමයි මේක දෙපාරක් විතර ලියන්න. parallelogram theorem. When two vectors are represented by two adjacent sides of the parallelogram, then the resultant of vectors of them is given by the diagonal of the parallelogram in magnitude and direction. Now that is the theorem of parallelogram of vectors. Right. Then ඔයගොල්ලෝ note එකේදී මේක හැමෝම අඳින්න ඕනේ. I will draw this one. Now these are the two vectors. Now sometimes that the vector is mentioned by this line. Now this is another vector, but in the A level in the physics no need to write this one. Now actually we use these vectors in the pure mathematics and applied mathematics. So you assume the given two vectors are P and Q. Now P means the magnitude of P is from here to there, length of this side. And again magnitude of vector Q is the length of this one, this horizontal line. So now you assume 2 newtons and 4 newtons are there. 2 newtons also vector, 4 newtons also vector, because that the newton represents force. Now 2 newton and 4 newton, you assume 2 newton and 4 newtons are there. Now when you going to find the resultant of these two vectors, because you can't use that rectangular law here, at that time you know that the resultant goes middle of them like this, that the resultant is magnitude of resultant is given by the length of this diagonal of the parallelogram. The direction is given by the direction of the diagonal. So that's why we say when two vectors are represented by two adjacent sides of the parallelogram, then the resultant of two vectors given by the diagonal of the parallelogram in magnitude and direction. Right. Now this is the resultant vector of P and Q. Now normally we write that R for the resultant vector. Now everybody write this one first, then write the parallelogram theorem law. Now when you write the laws and theorems, you have to highlight it with marker. අනිවාර්යෙන් මේක ලියලා මාකර් එකේ highlight කරන්න. මොකද දැන් structured paper එකේ සමහර වෙලාවට ඒගොල්ලෝ අහනකොට ඒගොල්ලෝ කෙලින්ම කියනවා write down the parallelogram theorem කියලා. Right. Now actually you can use this parallelogram theorem for any vector. For the force, at that time you can say this is the force parallelogram theorem. Now when you use for the velocity, you can say velocity parallelogram theorem. When used for the acceleration also vector, at that time you can say acceleration parallelogram theorem. Now generally we say that is the vector parallelogram theorem for the vectors. You can use any vector for P and Q. Now write the parallelogram theorem. When two vectors are represented by two adjacent sides of the parallelogram, when two vectors are represented by two adjacent sides of the parallelogram, then the resultant of two vectors given by diagonal of the parallelogram in magnitude and direction which starts which starts at point of intersection of two vectors. So because when you draw the parallelogram, everyone knows this one. Now when you draw the parallelogram, it has two diagonals like this. Now this is the first diagonal and this is the second diagonal. Now you can see they have different lengths. These two diagonals are not equal with each other because these two diagonals have different lengths. So you can't say that resultant of P and Q is given by this diagram because these two lengths are different. So that's why you have to say which starts from point of intersection of the vectors. So that's why you have to say that parallelogram theorem completely when you write the A-level here. Now we have to collect all the marks at the A-level. So that's why you have to write like this. When two vectors are represented by the two adjacent sides of the parallelogram, then the resultant of two vectors given by the diagonal of the parallelogram in magnitude and direction, which starts from point of intersection of two vectors, because it remains another diagonal here. That diagonal length is different relative to the first one, this one. So that's why you have to say which starts from the point of intersection of two vectors. මේ diagonal එක වෙනස් length එකේ. ඒක ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා. if it is a parallelogram. ඒ නිසා හරියටම කියන්න ඕනේ මෙතන යන diagonal එක කියන්න ඕනේ. which start at point of intersection of two vectors. Right. දැන් පුතාලා A-level exam එක ඉවර වෙනකම් faculty වලදීත් engineering faculty වලදී මේක ආයෙ ගන්නවා. එතනදිත් ගන්නවා medical faculty යන අයට ඉතින් A-level ඉවරනාට පස්සේ නම් මේක ඕනා වෙන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි එතනට යනකම් පුතාලා කවදද A-level exam එක ලියන්නේ? එතනට යනකම් මේ parallelogram theorem එක ඇහුවොත් ලියන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ. Because when two vectors are represented by two adjacent sides of a parallelogram, then the resultant is given by the diagonal in magnitude and direction, which starts from the point of intersection of two vectors. That's very easy. Right. Now next one. Now we are going to prove the parallelogram theorem. Now here we are going to find the magnitude of that R. Now we are going to prove that R is given by, now you assume the angle between two vectors is given by theta. So we are going to prove R is given by P squared plus Q squared plus 2PQ cos theta. Now we are going to prove this one. Now first of all, in your note, everybody write this note. Actually, I have told you this one. First one, write this one. Note. First one, sin square theta plus cos square theta equals 1. Next one, sin 90 minus theta equals cos theta. Third one, cos 90 minus theta equals sin theta. Next one, sin 2 theta. Actually we taken this one in projectile motion to take the maximum range for the projectile motion. Sin 2 theta equals 2 sin theta equals cos theta. Finally 5 sin theta divided by cos theta equals tan theta. Now these are the basic expressions for the simplification in physics. Now you have to write all these things. These are very important. Without these expressions, you can't simplify the physics. Right. Now these are the general equations to simplifications. Write the topic. Now write the topic. Provement of R equals P squared plus Q squared plus 2PQ cos theta by using parallelogram theorem. By using parallelogram theorem. Right. Now first of all everybody draw this sun. Right, draw the parallelogram. Now this is P and this is Q. Now again draw parallel line to the Q with the same amplitude with dotted line. And again draw another parallel line for the P with same magnitude. Now it gives the parallelogram. Now if it is P here, this should be P. Take the angle between the P and Q as theta. And this also Q. And again you can say this also theta. This is P, vector P. So if it is a vector, you can take the resolved component. So again we draw the right angle triangle here because we are going to use the Pythagoras theorem to prove this one. This is P and mention the resultant as R. This is the R. Now we are going to find the value for R. Now first of all again I will give another small note. Now when you take the right angle triangle, you can take the result component to write the length of sides. Now this gives that L cos theta. This is L cos theta and opposite side is given by L sin theta. Now we can use this method to prove this one. Now if it is a vector, you can take the two result components which are perpendicular with each other. So if it is P here, PA means the length from here to there is P. So you can take the result component to write the length of adjacent sides and opposite sides. Now you better follow this method. Now this is L cos theta. So likewise this should be P cos theta. This is P sin theta. If P sin theta is here, P sin theta is already there. Now this should be P sin theta. Now this is the result component of P. We have already taken these two components due to the P is a vector. So otherwise you can't take the result component. So I told you not to take that result component for the scales. I told you to take that result components for the vectors only. Now that is okay. Right. Now you can say, now we are going to label these two vertex, this one as A, B and C. Now first of all we have to think for what triangle we have to select here. Because you can't take this small right angle triangle here, this one, you can't take it. Because if you take that one, you can write this square is equal equals sum of this square and this one. So at that time you can't take the value for r. So that's why you have to select the triangle ABC to prove that the theorem. So otherwise you can't take the value for r. Now if you select this small right angle triangle, you can take the value for p. So don't use this right angle triangle to prove that term. Take the large right angle triangle, I mean that the ABC, to prove that term. So select that ABC because the length from A to B is given by Q plus P cos theta. Now this Q is vector, so length is represented by from here to there. So the length from here to there is Q, here to there is P cos theta. Finally you can write the length from here to there is given by Q plus P cos theta. And the adjacent side is given by, opposite side is given by P sin theta. Now everyone knows what is the total length of adjacent side. The triangular right angle triangle of ABC, that is Q plus P cos theta from here to there. And what is the length of opposite side, that is P sin theta. Now you can follow the Pythagoras theorem to take the value for r. Now here you have to label it by using ABC triangle, right angle triangle. Using Pythagoras theorem. Now everybody write the combination with r, q plus p cos theta and p sin theta. So you can write r squared equals q plus p cos theta squared plus p sin theta squared. Now again another very important expression is here. Now when you take the power 2, now this is the right way to write that expansion of powers. Now if I take that p cos theta to the power 2 is given by, now this power belongs these two values, p to the power 2 and cos square theta, because these two belongs this p and cos theta. Now again p sin theta to the power 2 p square sin square theta, like that. Now another one, when you write the a plus b square, you can write a square plus b square plus 2ab. When you write a minus b square, you can write a square plus b square minus 2ab. Now all the time that square is plus. Now when you write a plus b square, a square plus b square. When you write a minus b square, a plus a square plus b square. When plus sign here, you better write plus 2ab. When minus sign is there, you better write minus 2ab. Right. This is the theorem for the simplification of values, and this is the theorem for the simplification of powers. Right. Now everybody simplify this one. Simplify it. Now when you simplify it, before the simplification you better stop the video clip. Then you better simplify, and then finally you better check with the my one. Now this is like a plus b square. It gives a square b square plus 2ab. Q square plus, you better take p cos theta square. It is given by p square cos square theta. Now this is like this one. P cos theta to the power 2. P square cos square theta. A square plus B square plus 2AB plus 2AB 2QP cos theta plus this one, these two belongs, these two values, it gives P square sin square theta. Finally, you can write R is given by, now you can see P square cos square theta here and P square sin square theta here. So you better take that P square in front of the bracket. So it remains cos square theta plus sin square theta plus Q square. So Q square is already there. Plus again it remains that 2pq cos theta. 2pq cos theta. Now I told you to take this one as 1 because cos square theta plus sin square theta equals 1. This is 1. So finally you can write p square remains here because when you take the multiplication between p square into 1, p square into 1 means p square plus q square plus 2pq cos theta. So this is the value for r square. So when you take the r, you better take power half in both sides. It gives power half means root. So finally, r is given by p square plus q square plus 2pq cos theta. Now this is the proof method. This is very important in the A-level syllabus. Because we have to do that practicals also in parallelogram theorem in the A-level syllabus. That's a very important practical. So that's why you have to prove it first by using this theorem. So keep your memory, when you prove the parallelogram theorem, you have to use the Pythagoras theorem by using the diagonal of the parallelogram. So you have to select the last right angle triangular when you prove that one. So that's why I told you to use this one, told you to prove this one 2 times at least when you watch this video first. උදාලා මේක අනිවාර්යෙන් බලන දවසට අඩුම ගන්න දෙපාරක් මේකේ ප්‍රූෆ්මන්ට් එක කරන්න අඩුම ගන්න බලන දවසට උදාලා දැන් දවස් 5ක් ඇතුළත මේක බලන්න මේ බලන්නේ කවදද මේ බලන දවසට අඩුම ගන්න ඔන්න අඩුම ගානේ දෙපාරක් ප්‍රූව් කරනවා අපි එදා බලන දවසේ කවදා හරි ඊට පස්සේ අපි සුමාරෙන් ගිහලා ආයෙමත් මේකේ ප්‍රූෆ්මන්ට් එකක් උදාලා කරනවා මම නෙමෙයි ඕගොල්ලෝ කරන්නේ මතක ඇති ඊට පස්සේ ආපහු මාසයක් විතර ගිහලා ආයෙ ප්‍රූෆ්මන්ට් එක කරා නෑ කවදාවත් ආයෙ ජීවිතේට මේක අමතක ඔයාලට ඕන වෙලාවක පැරලෝග්‍රෑම් තියරම් එකේ ප්‍රූෆ්මන්ට් එක යවුවොත් කියන්න පුළුවන් ලියන්න පුළුවන් ප්‍රූව් කරන්නත් පුළුවන් මෙන්න මෙහෙමයි මේ සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක හදා ගන්නවා නැත්නම් දැන් පුතාලා නිකන් ඩ්‍රාමා එකක් බලනවා වගේ මගේ වීඩියෝ එක බලලා ඉවරනවා පුතාලට එතනින් එහාට මොකුත් මතක් නැහැ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඉස්සරහට යන්නත් බෑ හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න ලංකාවේ ළමයි ගොඩක් ඉගෙන ගන්නවා ඉස්සරහට එන්න number of degrees of students වැඩි වෙනවා. එහෙම තියෙනකොට science maths degree එක ලොකු validity එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒතර මේ validity එක වෙන කිසිම එකකින් ගන්නත් බෑ. හැබැයි මේ වගේ දේවල් කරන්නේ නැතුව science maths වලට degree එකට යන්නත් බෑ. the faculty යන්නේ නැතුව degree අන්තිමට ගන්නත් බෑ. ඉතින් මේක හරිය ලොකු දෙයක් නෙමෙයි. පුතාලට පාඩම් කරන්න ඕන විදිහ හැම එකක්ම මම කියනවා. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මම කියන්නේ මේක බලන්නේ කවදාද බලන දවසට අඩුම ගන්න දෙපාරක් මේ ප්‍රූෆ්මන්ට් එක කරන්න. At least you have to do that proofment 2 times. Right. Now we are going to write the direction of resultant. Now write the topic direction of resultant. Now write the topic direction of resultant. Now everyone knows when you use the vectors, the direction is given by the tan theta. Because you have done all these things in the projectile motion also. Because I have taught you how do you take the direction always direction is given by tan theta when two vectors are perpendicular with each other. So that's why first of all we have to select two perpendicular vectors. By using that perpendicular vectors we can write that angle by using tan theta. Now that is the theorem to write that the direction in two vectors. Now here, now this is the resultant. So we have to write the direction of resultant. Now we are going to write the direction related to the horizontal direction. Now again we draw that one. Now this is the resultant. From here to there, the length is given by q plus p cos theta. And this is given by p sin theta. So we take this one as alpha. So these are two vectors and are also vector. So always vector direction is given by tan theta by using another two perpendicular vectors. Now here we are going to write the direction of r by using these two vectors. So you better write tan alpha. First of all, write the mention the theorem. The direction of resultant are relative to the horizontal direction. Relative to the horizontal direction. Alpha. So you can write tan alpha. I will write the value for tan alpha. Always tan alpha is given by opposite side divided by the adjacent side. So everyone knows what are the length of these two sides. Tan alpha is given by p sin alpha divided by q plus p cos theta. Q plus p cos theta. So this is p sin theta. Finally, you can write that alpha is given by tan inverse p sin theta divided by q plus p cos theta. This is the angle. Now this is the angle of resultant vectors of p and q. Resultant vectors of p and q. Right. This is very important. Now finally when we use that parallelogram theorem, now this is the q and this is the p. And this is the theta, and the resultant of p and q, or this is p or this is q, you can take as you wish. Right. Now the resultant is given by the diagonal which starts from the point of intersection of these two vectors. Now here I am going to write that the difference of vectors. Now this is the sum of two vectors. This diagonal represents resultant or sum of these two vectors. Both are correct. Sum of these two vectors or resultant. Sum of these two vectors or resultant. Now here I am going to take the subtraction of two vectors. Now this diagonal represents sum of two vectors or resultant. Now here I am going to the subtraction of these two vectors. But anyway I will do in next video clip. But anyway I will give the hint. Now here I am going to write, you assume q minus p or p minus q as you wish. So I told you we can change the characters by changing sign in front of the vector. You can write AB with minus B. You can change the interchange two characters by changing sign in front of the vector. Right. Now you can see. Now here we are going to write q by q minus p. So this is plus p. Now again I told you, you can change the direction by using minus sign in front of the vector. Now here I change the direction of arrow mark by changing the sign in front of the vector. I keep two characters the same. I did not change the two characters, portion of two characters, but I changed the direction. Right, because I told you we can change the sign in front of the vector by changing direction of vector or by interchanging the two characters. Here I take this method. Now this is AB, so if you want to write that minus AB, you have to change the direction. Now this is P. Now you can see this is minus P. Now you can write this is Q plus minus P here. That is Q minus P. Now minus P means you have to change the direction. Minus P is here. Length is same length for the opposite direction. This is minus P. Now you assume this is as X and this is Q. Now you have to take the sum of X and Q. X is given by minus P. Sum of X and Q. So sum of X and Q is given by this diagonal. This diagonal is also same for this diagonal. So finally you can say the sum of P and Q is given by this diagonal, this AB diagonal. Sum of P and Q gives by AB diagonal, and subtraction of these two vectors Q minus P is given by CD diagonal. That is the theorem. But anyway, we will do that one in the next video clip. පුතාලා මේක අනිවාර්යෙන් මම කියනවා මේ වීඩියෝ ක්ලිප් එකේ මේ ප්‍රූෆ්මන්ට් එක බලන දවසේ දෙපාරක් කරන්න ආයෙ සුමානයක් ගිහලා කරන්න. දැන් මේවා කියන්නේ දැන් ඕගොල්ලන්ට ඇත්තටම එක්සෑම් එකේ ෆැකල්ටි යන්නේ දෙපාර තුන් පාර කර කර ඉන්න බෑ වයසත් යනවා. මේ දැන් කොරෝනා ඉෆෙක්ට් එක ගිය නිසා එහෙම කරන්නත් බෑ. ඔයගොල්ලෝ මම විශ්වාස කරලා නෑ. ඒ නිසාම මම කියනවා වගේ මගේ අනිත් ක්ලාසස් වල ඔක්කොම ළමයි කරන්නේත් එහෙමයි. ඕල් ක්ලාසස් වල අනිත් ගෲප් ක්ලාස් යනවා නම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේවත් එහෙම. ඒ නිසා පුතාලා මේ කියන එක විශ්වාස කරන්න මම කියනවා කරන්න. මේ ප්‍රූෆ්මන්ට් එක දෙපාරක් කරන්න. පාඩම් කරන්න ඕන විදිහ මේ කියන්නේ. ඒතර මම කියන විදිහ ෆලෝ අප් කර කර යන්න. ඔය මුලදී සමහර වෙලාවට ඔබ්ජෙක්ටිව් ප්‍රැක්ටිස් වල දක්න අඩුනාට බොරි වෙන්න එපා. ඒවා මේ අයියලක්ලට දෙන ඒවා. ඕගොල්ලන්ටත් හිතන්න පුළුවන් ගණන් අප්පම ඕගොල්ලන්ට දෙනවා. මොකද මේ හිතනේ තින්කින් මෙතඩ් එක තමයි ඉස්සරහට අරයි යන්නේ. නැත්තම් මම ඔක්කොම දේවල් කියලා කිව්වට පස්සේ එක්සෑම් එකේ අලුත් ඒවා එන්නේ. ඒකෝට ලියන්න බැන්නේ. අර එහෙම හිතලා පුරුදු වුණා පුතාලා එක්සෑම් එකත් හරියට කරන්න. right anyway we will meet that from next week. It's then